Designs has been wonderful. For the minor things that need to be done, design has always been on top of it. It's not always about, well, let's sign a contract first before we can do some work for you. I think that designs really stands true to that they are part of the family, and they're really committed to the support and making the organization successful. And they take that very personal, which I really appreciate, because that communication as well as the relationship piece it's huge for me. And I really appreciate what designs have done for us.
Design started actually as a sole proprietorship in Wayne Jennings' house. Wayne had taken an early retirement from St. Paul schools. I joined him about almost 25 years ago, and we incorporated as a subchapter S corporation in March of 1992. So that makes us, having been around several years. And in a broad kind of business way, I guess we would be classified as a professional services company. But our clear specialty and emphasis has been working with schools, particularly working with charter schools.
So Designs for Learning is fortunate to have good relationships with about just under 50 schools, nonprofits, and government agencies that we're providing services for. We're really appreciative of having that number of schools and groups that we get to work with. And some of our clients just have one of our services, and we are able to just help support them in the area of technology or special education. But some of our clients really do like to have multiple services and really look at that whole comprehensive package that Designs for Learning offers. And so with that, about 50 schools and clients that we have, 31 of those are receiving services from our special education department. And so the next would be our program support, grant writing, and evaluation services, which is 23. The next would be finance services with 13 clients. Some are operating schools, some are in their pre-operational stage, but we're working with 13 schools in our finance department. We have about 9 to 10 in our tech department, and a handful in our human resources department, assisting about 6.
When they took it over, it was a mess, simply because the people before that, didn't know what they were doing. And we worked with another group shortly. That didn't work. So we went to designs. The big value was we've never been an SOD. When we've had difficulties, the whole design staff, it seemed like, came to our aid and helped us at different times.
They are people who help me with the finance, and they are devoted for the job. Anytime I ask questions, they are there. They are not rushing to talk about the time or whatever. So they are there for me all the time when we have questions.
Pam, and with Susan and Stacy and Jan, all 4 of them, they knew just like they wanted us to win. They wanted us to do well, not just for the money for Designs for Learning, but they knew the kind of work we did, and respected the work that we did. It's and they filled in. I can't imagine doing finances from the building. There's some things are best. That division of duty in the financial management area, that's the most important part, to have an outsider.
So Designs for Learning provides human resources services to our schools, and we provide it in a couple of ways. One, we can just be a resource to go to if the school has some questions, and we need to just make sure that we're handling, the school needs to make sure they're handling human resources situation that comes up. They mostly can handle things on their own, but every once in a while they just need that expert to go to. And so we can help them from time to time with some support. We also can act as the on-site human resources person. We have our human resources staff actually are on site at schools, often for a day or 2 a week, and all of the needs of the school's human resources go directly to that Designs for Learning staff. So we can really handle it on either side of the spectrum. depending on the need of the school, our human resources can be there to really help out the administration, the board, understand their role as employers. We can also be there to help the employees and set up to where the employees can feel comfortable coming into a human resources department and handling those things, and then we can advocate for the employees to the board or to the administration. Depends on the needs of the school.
They have very experienced people. Always they bring something. They don't bring in some people who are learning while they are in the work, but they bring in some people who knows what they are doing.
Yeah. What was your experience with HR before you contracted HR services with DL?
Well, a lot of it was basically done through myself. Just trying to do everything, and I got to the point where obviously you're growing. Things have gotten just boiling over to the point where I couldn't handle it. And I needed somebody that would be able to step in to handle a lot of those HR, services and that. And so with Liz stepping in, it's been wonderful. And really now I can focus on my job where designs helps focus on the HR side of it.
So what do you know now about human resources that you were not aware of when you became a director?
A lot of things. I was assistant principal, and I was more like academics. And right now, I'm doing so many things.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot. Liz, she is wonderful.
So we've had a great relationship, with HR. I'm able to consult anytime that I want. We're trying to take over some of the HR functions ourselves, and Designs has helped us reduce actually our budget for HR.
I can't say enough about it. It's wonderful. Like I said, having Liz on site, and also when she's not on site, she's always accessible through phone or email. The turnaround time is phenomenal, and so we really appreciate that. I know my staff really appreciates it as well.
And what do you value most about the human resource services?
The confidentiality, the way she handles, everybody's situations, their agreements, how to sign, going through all the hiring buckets, all of that. That's the thing that I really admire.
Our HR director still and always will be, well, if it's up to me, will be, the Designs director. We have about 20 employees who are working in special education right now. It's a large component, and it's the leadership. That's what is most important, is the leadership we've been able to get from the special ed directors who are part of Designs.
Well, obviously we know that special ed is a very important area in education, and to have that specialty and to have that person on board to really guide us and make sure that we are in compliance is the biggest piece. And Designs brings a lot of that knowledge, and so it's whether it's Bruce or to Ginny or that's working with us, it's just been great, and to have that support at the table. Like I said, even with that turnaround time, it's nothing but a phone call or an email to get clarification and to make sure that we are in compliance across the board.
We've been really happy with the comprehensive approach they've given us and the quality of the directors. The director we have is not only special education director, but she's also been a principal. So that's expertise that is hard to find. And these days, it is difficult to gather together a good team, a special education team. There are very few people out there who aren't employed already. So having a system that's coherent and a good special ed director at the top is also important in our recruiting teachers.
In the last 10 years, that has grown to actually our largest service area. We've been able to now provide special ed directors in over 35 schools, special education needs directors, school psychology services, all of those ancillary supports that are really hard to find for a small school on their own. They really need to be able to go to us and let us try to pull in a network of people and use our connections to find good services that the schools are going to be able to need, because when they're small and on their own, that's something that's really hard to do, is just go out and find a real specialized special ed service. And so we found that there was a need out there. We built a department around that, and it's now our largest department.
The discussion always was, here's another inner city school, no computers, no books, the computers don't work, and now that isn't an issue anymore. At the last few years, it's all been cleaned up, and I never hear complaints about the technology anymore. We have enough computers. All the students and the teachers are issued new iPhones. So we have, we're the only school in the nation, high school in the nation, that issues iPhones. It has technology and the support that we have.
It's great. You guys are very knowledgeable of obviously the technology piece, and as important as it is in our schools these days, with our servers and everything else. I mean, it's been phenomenal, and so we really appreciate that. The turnaround time when we do call to get that service, to get the support. It's just been top notch.
Our tech department is great. They are able to handle anything that's thrown their way. I really think that they are able to handle quick response items very effectively, although often they're not on site regularly. We do have that offering where we can actually put a tech person on site at the school 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever the needs of the school might be. But if they don't feel like they need somebody there all the time, or they have a technology teacher that's able to handle a lot of the things, when something goes wrong, you need somebody to respond quickly, and Designs for Learning staff is able to do that. We're able to really get your needs met as soon as possible. And we also are willing to take on fun ideas and new options, and if a school has these crazy ideas, I think it's where our technology department can come in, put some good structure and form around it, help make good decisions, help make good financial decisions and purchasing decisions, and support the school in that way.
The kids will ask, can you get that Mark guy down here? My computer won't work. I'll see if he's available. They'll say that. And so I think that's that's part of it. And again, it would be nice if we could do more stuff at Jennings, on site. Mm-hmm. But we can't hire a social worker. We can't hire a full-time tech person.
We have diversified some of our clients that we're working with in our program support area, probably more than any other area. And we have nonprofit clients, we have government agencies that we're working with, because the needs to apply for and respond to grants are greater than ever. It used to be that there were a couple government grants that we could apply for the schools, and they were pretty much, you do the same thing year after year and you get that money, but no longer. It really is much more competitive. Foundational support and that fundraising support the schools are requiring. We're out there all the time looking for grants that we can help schools apply to, helping make sure that they're reporting back on those grants that they do receive in a way that's much more specific and much more important for them to get renewed. It used to be in the past when the school was sponsored by the organization that sponsors them, they pretty much just had to report how well their school was doing, make sure their test scores were up. But a few years back, the Minnesota Department of Education went through and had all of those people who were sponsors at the time become authorizers. And they had to then have a whole series of things that these groups had to do in order to become authorizers of schools. Then the schools had to apply to their authorizers. It gave a new level of accountability to the schools and to those that are overseeing them in between Minnesota Department of Education and the school board themselves. There became another very important aspect, and that's the authorizers. But it also added another layer of reporting and information that needed to be gathered from the school and given to the authorizer. And so in our program support area, we've tried to help those schools make application to their authorizers. If they want to change authorizers, we help them with that. We also help them once they've got their good stable authorizer to make those reporting, annual reports, the data, so that the authorizer feels good about it. We've even helped the authorizers become authorizers, and we helped several of them to get through the paperwork that they had to go through. And then we hope to continue to be part of that process at various levels, and that's all in our program support area. Our program support also assist schools with evaluation services. And evaluation services, obviously there's where the school is having their testing. We assist them with the NWEA testing. We can order it for them. We can help them get it administered. Our tech department can come help make sure it runs on your computer. And once that data comes back, the school can look at that and they can try to use that data to make program decisions, budgeting decisions, hiring decisions, curriculum decisions. But sometimes that data is a little hard to get through. We have a staff person at Designs for Learning with a master's degree in evaluation and support. And so he understands how to look at the data and what changes can be made in your program to really use that data to change and improve the program that you have. We also can help support your school with other kinds of evaluation. We do, some of the government agencies we work with them for evaluation services. We're actually evaluating their program, conducting surveys, running those surveys, and doing reports back on what is working and what's not working. And any kind of company, nonprofit, for-profit, government agency, county, charter school, could all benefit by having additional evaluation support to their program. We all want to be working at making sure our mission is met. And sometimes you have to get these checkpoints along the way to make sure you are meeting your mission. And I think evaluation is one of those things that we can do. And it is something that works best to have someone from offsite do it. And also someone with the knowledge and experience. What does this mean? I have this data, but then what? We have good expertise where we can move forward, and we've really been successful working with government agencies and helping them manage that evaluation program. So Designs for Learning assists schools with their E-rate funding. We help them with the paperwork, but we also help them with the decision making. E-rate is a special line of funding that comes directly into schools to help them make sure that computer access and phone access is available to students and to help them run their program. We can help them with their writing of their applications, looking at the vendors that are bidding to provide those services, and then helping to make sure that the commitments that were made financially by those vendors are actually hold through. We can make sure the contracts that we work with are for 3 years. We want to help on the planning, application, the delivery of that service, and then making sure every penny that was owed to the school gets through to the school.
Expertise is a funny thing. I have a doctorate in curriculum and instruction, but you know, it was working with a small charter school as head of school, as director for 5 years, that in which I really learned a lot. So I guess I would say one of the things that's really important and I think really unique about the Designs for Learning staff is that we not only have people that have good knowledge and are well trained, but in terms of the American educator John Dewey, we also have people that are competent with head, heart, and hands. Head in the knowledge, the information, but there's this kind of heart that really cares what happens. So when the execution happens with the hands to get things done, there's that kind of full commitment. We like to not just be involved with schools, we like to really be engaged, and we have that kind of staff.
Design I do see, according to how I see them, is very reliable and dependable when it comes to service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, history is just a part of it, but it's the thing is that Jennings knows Designs for Learning, and Designs for Learning knows Jennings well. You go to another place, you to start a relationship with another organization, you can't have that same level of trust.
I think it goes back to exactly what I said. You know, you really take it personal, and that's the biggest piece. Designs does. You know, they're just not there as a consultant, but they're actually part of the family. They want to know about the business and what they can do better to help us be better. And it really relieves us from a lot of the things that we can focus on our children rather than focusing on codes or different things. It's very important that we just have Designs be there to support us in that capacity. Mm-hmm. And so for me, when I spread the word, it's about that relationship piece, that it is a really strong, close working relationship.
That I really wanted to be a part of this because of my long-term relationship with Designs and how it's really helped support our school. Couldn't have done this school without them.
So Designs for Learning is unique in the way we provide services because we truly believe in building the relationship with the school and making sure that we're giving them exactly what they need. And sometimes that means providing a lot of service so that the school doesn't have to worry about those things. They can come into school every day and worry about educating the students and not necessarily have to worry about all of the other pieces of that. Other schools are best served by really understanding what it is that we're doing and being an active partner in that. In the area, for example, of financial services. Some schools have their own business manager, and what they want is that person to be really well trained and understand their job to the best of their ability. So our job is to make sure that they are trained. Our job is to make sure that we could then walk away and help them in other areas and in other ways, and they're going to be able to be reflective of the good thing that we've taught them. So we build capacity internally. We make sure that people know what we're doing so that if it makes sense for them to do it themselves, they can do it, but it also helps them understand what it is that we're doing. So we like to be really open and transparent, and I think that does make us different.
We're really about learning.